Bates, you're the
Bill,
MC. Okay.
Bill, this is Jim. Jim is my great friend, almost 50-year great friend. And Bill is my great friend as well, going all the way back to when I think I was 16 years old, right? Something around
Right. So that's 42 years.
there. Long
Uh,
time.
yeah. Okay.
Nice to meet you, Bill.
Nice meeting you, Jim. I've been hearing a lot about you in the last half hour or so.
Oh no.
All right.
Probably either conflated stories because Eric remembers me different than I remember me. Sometimes I really do like the stories. I go, man, that dude was awesome, but I don't remember him.
Well, I mean, he told me you were really good.
Yeah, he was.
And he looked up to you because you were so much older than him. 1 year?
Yeah, not even a year.
Yeah, that year of maturity was everything.
Right.
Not even a year. It's only 9. I think it's 9 months, right?
Yeah.
Might as well have been 9 years at that point. Oh my
So
gosh.
Bates, you're the MC. Take over.
Yes. Okay. So Bill is a legendary coach in the Fair Oaks Northridge Little League and senior big league type teams. He also was a very good player going back to University of Iowa and all the way back to high school. He told me a little while ago that he reminded me that his high school won the state championship in Iowa. What year was that, Bill?
55, Des Moines, Lincoln.
55.
And so It was the first championship the school had won in anything.
Wow.
They had AA, AAA or whatever back then. We were the smallest and the biggest division.
Wow.
So you had to have 600 kids and we had 602 or something. And we were playing against high schools that had 2,000 kids, or something. It was a big deal for our school.
So when you're in Iowa, how did you play with snow and the weather and all that? How'd you end up?
We played in the field house until the snow.
That's right. Okay.
And so they had a dirt infield in the batting cages. And we had one minor problem. And that was the track team worked out before us. And where I took infield practice, the shot putters had been there. And so there were some divots. And one day I got a ground ball that hit a divot and came up and hit me between the eyes. And I picked up the ball and threw it at the end of the field house. It had a whole wall of windows, just little, 12 by 12 panes. I threw a ball through one of the panes and the coach never figured out how somebody broke the window way up there. So,
you may have had some concussion protocol.
I was extremely unhappy, but we did we did have games. I remember playing against Notre Dame and we had snow along the outfield fence. The ground rule was it was a double if the ball got lost in the snow and the outfield all that snow hadn't melted.
So you mostly played indoors then, or?
No, we played outside. But what we would do is we'd play 2 or 3 games back in Iowa, and then we would go to Tucson to play the University of Arizona, and we'd play 6 games against them in a week. And they would have played 30 games already when we got there, and they would leave the printout of the roster and the batting averages and all of that. And they had a kid named Marty Hurd who was leading the nation, hitting 485 or something. And their number 9 hitter was hitting, 310 with 10 home runs or something. It was, the University of Arizona back then was a big powerhouse baseball. And so we'd spend a week down there. The thing I remember most, if you guys have been to spring training in Arizona, is the high sky, dry air, the altitude. We'd come out of Iowa with the low clouds and all of that, get down there. The first 3 days in the morning before the games, we'd chase fly balls and pop-ups because, if the shortstop was in under the pop-up, the left fielder better be behind him because the balls, and you'd see the center fielder start in, and then the look on his face was, oh, rats. The ball's over his head, not in front of him. And, we had some big scores down there, 13 to 12 games and stuff. It was hilarious. And by the time we'd get to Thursday or Friday, we could actually judge a fly ball or a pop-up, but in the beginning, it was hilarious. So no, we'll never forget that about there. And it was a great Yeah, I mean, if you made the trip to Arizona, you made the team.
Oh,
And
okay.
the coach didn't cut anybody, but if you weren't on the train to Arizona, you weren't going to play. So it was kind of a subtle way of cutting people. When you'd come back from Arizona, there'd be some empty lockers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that was, in college, that was a big highlight. And and then after that, you'd play in between, rain delays back there. I mean, it would rain in the springtime almost every day. And you'd be playing in the mud or whatever. We only played about 35 games. What did you play at LA?
Shortened, yeah.
So did you guys go crazy? Did you guys go crazy when you got out of the Iowa weather, go to Arizona? You're there for a few days. Did you totally misbehave, changing the culture so much?
Well, we got to go because it was Easter time. We got to go on Good Friday to Nogales, Mexico. We had lunch in the cavern or the cave. I mean, where prisoners used to be taken. There was an end of the cave where there were bullet holes in the wall where they'd execute people. But I had turtle soup down there, first time in my life. Yeah, and then one thing the coach says: don't go to Juarez Street, because So what did all the guys do? We got a cabin. We went to Juarez Street, and that's where all the hookers hung out.
Right, the red light district.
Their little brothers were selling their sisters on the street corners, and I mean, the whole.
Oh my goodness!
So when we got to go to Nogales, we had a great day. So, and then we got to play, and I don't know whether we got to play in Scottsdale because we went to. On the last day, we'd go to Phoenix and play at Scottsdale. And I got to play at High Corbett Field in Tucson.
Cleveland
and the
Indians
used to have spring training there. So I played in a couple of minor league or spring training parks.
Nice.
I mean, Scottsdale to us looked like a prison. 360 down the left field line, 12-foot fence, 410 to center field or something. We thought I could stand on second base, hit a fungo and couldn't hit it out or something. But in the first inning, our catcher hit a home run, to the left center. So the ball flies down there. Yeah.
I have a good question for you, I think. So about what year was that you went to Scottsdale?
Yeah, that would have been the spring of 57. Because 56, I was a freshman, and, freshmen were not eligible to play, varsity ball then. Back in the old days, you could play just 3 years on the varsity.
So how cool is it to look back that time frame and think about the development of Scottsdale versus what it looks like today? As I mean, it was just even, I lived there in 80, I think it was about 89, maybe, about 89. I turned pro and I lived in Scottsdale and tried to play golf there. And even in 89, it was pretty undeveloped. And now I go back and I'm like, this city is crazy. How much development they've done.
It was out in the boonies, when we played there. I mean, it wasn't part of the quote city or anything like it is now. And so, but it was just a big deal to us, to get to play in spring training ballparks. And it was right after the teams went away, to start the season. So, it was still manicured and everything and just a beautiful diamond to play on. We loved it. And the only night game we played was in High Corbett. It wasn't one of the 16 to 12 games. It was like a 5-3 game or something. So, it was a big deal. When you're starting now to talk about the old days, Eric and I have talked many times about the difference between baseball then and now. Our coach was a former big league catcher, and he taught us how to read pitchers and how to, learn what their count was when they were in the stretch position. And then, and so you could always, if you're going to steal second, steal it a half a count early. And then we had to, in practice, when it was just batting practice and you were shagging balls, throw your glove out in the outfield and slide into it on the left side, slide into it on the right side. And at the end of practice, if your sweatpants didn't have grass stains on both sides, you weren't doing it right. You had to learn how to slide both ways. And I just watch TV now or a game when I get there and a kid slides on the wrong side of his body right into where the ball's coming from and gets tagged out. If he slid the other way, he probably would have been safe. And I go back to our Little League days. I don't think, the coaching they get in the beginning helps them learn how to bunt or slide properly. And I mean, they're big stars and they make it up and get drafted or something and still don't know how to do it right.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they revert back to the only way they learned how to slide was on their left side or something, or head first. And that was it. And so, but the pop-up slide, the hook slide, I haven't seen a hook slide in decades.
Many years, right?
Nobody even knows.
Not unless somebody's slipping going into home plate.
Yeah, right.
Well, the thing with Bill is that he and my dad coached together. Was it 1 year, Bill?
Yeah. I mean, after you left, he helped me on the A team for a year.
Yeah.
Because I had the B team because you were 2 years ahead of my son. And when I moved up to the A team the next year, he hung around a year and he worked with me on the A team.
Yeah. And Jim knows very well that my dad was a stickler for fundamentals. I mean, that was all he did. And so the two of you together, I could only imagine how much fun you guys had because both.
Yeah, we thought the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jim, one of the things that still today, and I watched it in the last week, is the big leaguers don't know how to field bunts. They screw up the bunt play more. I watched pitcher with runners on first and second, nobody out, pick up the ball, try to get the runner at third, throw it into left field or down into foul territory. And so it turned into a big inning. And then I watched another one where, but runners on first and second, they had 2 walks. The next guy bunted, and it was a perfect bunt, and they didn't get anybody. Turned into a 3-run inning or so. And our college coaches had always said, if you walk the leadoff hitter, he's going to score 75% of the time. And then you walk him, they bunt him over. He goes, to third base on a wild pitch and scores on a sac fly, and you got to run.
It's funny. I agree with you because it seems like the players that were naturals, the ones that came up, they played the position, they seem to fit the profile you're talking about. And then I see the converted players that have had to work extra hard to learn how to play the position properly because they're not as natural. They oddly seem to be fundamentally more sound on bunt plays and reacting to what the kinetic energy that's going on in the field. Like I'll admit it, I'm a Dodger homer. Muncy has really developed into a good third baseman, and I can tell that he's just worked really hard because he was not good when he first started playing the position.
The best third baseman I've seen in modern baseball is Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
He plays deeper than any third baseman I've ever seen. And he has a rocket arm, and he wins a Gold Glove every year and has won a Platinum Glove because he's the pitcher's best friend on that side of the infield.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you think his arm helps? I mean, being able to play a little bit deeper?
Yes, but also his speed helps. I mean, he's one of the fastest runners on the Giants, or maybe the fastest. And people don't think of him that way. But, his big flaw is just taking too many close pitches.
Yeah.
See, he strikes out on the ball that's an inch outside or inside, but the ump calls it a strike or something. So he's got too good an eye. But speaking of that, one thing I always taught our kids was the pitcher normally wants to get ahead. And so about 75% of the time, you're going to see a fastball on the first pitch. And if it's good, take a rip at it because that may be the best pitch you see. If you take it and you're behind 0-1, what is Eric going to do to me now? He's going to throw me a low outside curveball. Yeah. And then, or come down or cheese inside and high, which used to be the letters, but now it's your belly button, I think. So when you saw off the bat, you make it 6 inches long when you're trying to hit that inside pitch. That was always, for me, that was always the toughest pitch to hit. And nowadays, they've taken that pitch away from the pitcher. They call it a ball.
No.
I unfortunately don't enjoy baseball as much as I did. There's an element I enjoy. I love the Dodgers because of my family, but I miss the cat and mouse. There's still cat and mouse today, but it used to be chin music, away. And now You don't see any of that. I mean, guys like Bob Gibson just owned the inside of the plate. People were afraid to lean over. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
You got guys sitting right on top of the plate now because
right. Yeah.
you get in trouble if you throw in too far inside.
You know what they have? All the armor on now. They've got
that
pads
too.
on their elbow and their their tricep. Yep. They've got all these pads on. So if you throw high inside, they just take it on one of the pads. Yep. And so it's forcing the pitchers to go outside. But then, and now instead of hitting the ball to right field, there are a lot of base hits for a right-hander in right field. But the guys try to
wide open.
Yeah. And what do you end up with? A ground ball to shortstop, I mean, weak ground ball. And so take that outside pitch and, nail it down the right field line. I mean,
Yeah, it's amazing what rib contusions can do to your next at bat.
Yeah, right.
You get busted in on the ribs.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you're not leaning out.
No, you're not leaning over the plate. But no, I love Ariza on the Giants now because he uses the whole field. Yep. Same game, he'll hit a ball down the left field line or then pull one down the right field line, depending on where you pitch him. And he'll end up with 2 or 3 hits in a game. I mean, and he'll get on base, and every once in a while he accidentally hits a home run, but it's not on. I don't think it's on purpose.
Eric, was your favorite player of all time? Was it Pete Rose or Eric Burns?
Okay, yeah, 2 different eras, but both of them led the league in hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
And Burns, ran at first like his hair was on fire. I mean, I love that about him, and the stories about him. When the drunk ran onto the field and he was playing center field, and instead of letting security handle it, he nailed him like a linebacker.
Laid him out.
Just laid him out, and he's on top of him, and the security got there to take the guy off. I mean, so that's Burnsy to me.
Oh, my God.
I just loved him. And Pete Rose, just because he hit the ball all over the place. I mean, my best friend in high school that was on that state championship team, he pitched against Rose in the minors. And he said when Rose started staring at him in the dugout before he was on deck, and then when he got in the batter's box and he's ready to pitch to him, he's thinking, just don't hit a line drive up the middle.
Right.
Hit it left or right on me. Just don't hit it at me. He wasn't thinking about getting him out. He was just hoping he didn't hit a line drive.
Don't kill me. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. And so, I mean, I'll never forget that. When you think of Pete Rose, just throw the ball and duck. So then, no, I kind of, the way the ball or the game has evolved into all these, metrics and stuff and the launch angle and how hard you hit the ball and everything. And I'll take a soft line drive into right center field over
hit them where they ain't.
Yeah, right. Rather than a warning track fly ball or a strikeout. I mean, the launch angle has created more strikeouts than I've ever seen before. I mean, what did DiMaggio have? More walks than strikeouts or something in his career.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Or something.
Pretty sure.
And, Wade Boggs went through a season where he didn't pop out. He had nothing but line drives. The good hitters. And Rod Carew, left field, or if he came inside, he'd pull it. But he had Tony Gwynn and all those guys that were great hitters used the opposite side of the field, the 5.5 hole, as they'd call it.
Gwynn and Carew had the best hands.
Yeah.
I mean, because Rose was all grit to me, but you could see Carew just staying there, and all of a sudden, it was like he was hitting a tennis shot in the middle of the racket, kind of flicking it in between third and short. It was an absolute art.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't teach.
I mean, and so, when you look at what the good hitters did, the won batting championships, that's the type of hitter. And now they pay somebody $20 million a year to hit 24 home runs. I ended up in college with a math minor, and you tell me how many weeks you play in the majors in a season. You play 6 months, 24 weeks or so, 25 weeks. So you're hitting a home run once a week, and you're striking out 15 times in that week. You're trying to hit the one home run. I'll take a Reeves any day. Somebody that sprays the ball around and gets on base. You can't score.
Who did you pattern yourself after when you played?
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
off the field as well, because you look really healthy. So I'm not thinking so.
No, I didn't drink or
Bill's
smoke,
not a drinker at all. He does that.
and I wouldn't be 89 years old if I did. No, but Mickey, the way he played, yeah, I loved him.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they had his glove. When we were at Iowa, we got wood bats. The Louisville Slugger guy would come to town, and you get to pick your model. And I picked a Mickey Mantle, a model bat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't swing it the same way he did, but I was swinging his bat. No, I mean, I just loved, the way he would drag the ball batting left-handed towards the second baseman.
He was a great bunter too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic bunter, and people don't realize that about him, how many base hits he got every year by just dragging the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two places to bunt it for a base hit. One is where he did, towards the second baseman in that little Bermuda triangle between the first baseman, pitcher, and second baseman. And the other one is down the third baseline short. And so too far for the catcher and too far over for the pitcher. And so if your third baseman's playing deep, I'd lay the ball down. Yeah, I mean, that's just giving me a base hit. So no, those are the things I loved. And they're disappearing. They're getting, even though they can't shift like they used to, they still have the shortstop for a left-hander playing almost behind second base, third baseman playing shortstop. And all you got to do is lay the ball down the third baseline. If you hit it, you bunted it hard enough, you could get a double out of it almost or something. No, I mean, there's so many fundamental things that are not that part of the game anymore. Yeah.
It's too bad. It's a good brand of baseball. I like that brand of baseball myself.
Probably the team I loved the most, and you might not have liked them and being a Dodger fan, was the Billy Ball A's. Yeah.
Oh, I loved him. No, look, I'll admit I love the Dodgers, and I will also admit I don't watch a lot of baseball until late August because I think the game is won today through depth. It's the dog days of summer, teams wear down and depth wins. So historically, I don't watch a lot, but I am a true fundamentalist that I love good team baseball. Yeah. Because my favorite era of the Dodgers was the 70s. They had some power on that team. They had 4 guys hit 30 home runs. However, they won with pitching and fundamentals and a lot of late inning, moving the ball, a leadoff walk. Like you said, a leadoff walk scores almost every single time.
Yeah.
And then it would either be a stolen base or it would be a bunt to move them over, or it'd sacrifice and hit the ball to the right side and they get over. And it would just be, move a base at a time. I miss that because now I watch a team that they're waiting for Ohtani, even though he's 7th up in the inning, and they're waiting for him to come up and hit a 6-run home run. I mean, it's just weird to me, And then the guy swings harder with 2 strikes than he does,
on the first pitch
ahead in the count. It just it defies logic to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, my favorite player of that era was Ricky Henderson, because when we'd go to a game, if Ricky got on, it wasn't, is he going to steal second, is on which pitch. And I hated to have the hitter ahead of him get on because that meant Ricky couldn't steal. We wanted Ricky on as the lead runner and then watch him steal second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it was just like the pressure he put on you on the mound, Eric, and the other catcher or whatever, you got to make a perfect throw. And I mean, all that stuff. And so many times the ball would go into center field and he ends up on third base. I loved that kind of baseball. Watching him steal 130 bases in a year. I mean, if somebody steals 30 or 40 now, it's a real big deal. And that's back to stealing a base, 1.5 a week or something. Yeah, I mean,
and it puts so much pressure on the pitcher, and then if you have somebody speedy on first base, you're gonna see better pitch selection. You're gonna see more fastballs, and the fact that the teams do not do that. I mean, the Dodgers actually have a little bit of speed. They very seldom run, even though Ohtani stole 50 our 50 bases a few years ago, I felt like it was a novelty. I didn't feel like it was to win games. I felt like it was to put people in the stands and bring attention to the game itself. Fundamentally, it very seldom made any sense.
Well, I've got a question for Bates now. I mean, you're the pitcher out there, and you've got an 0-2 count on the hitter and a runner on first base. Yeah. I mean, I always thought that was a great pitch to steal on, because you're going to throw a low outside curveball in the dirt or something, and it's going to be harder for the catcher to field. And even if the guy strikes out, I mean, you're on second base. I mean, so one way or the other. So I love to run on an 0-2 count. I mean,
because that's the pitch as a pitcher. That's the pitch that you can go farthest out of the strike zone to try to get the guy to chase, right? So that is the smart pitch to run on for sure.
Well, I remember you telling me with the Reds, if you threw a strike on 0-2, you got fined. If you threw the ball in the strike zone, I mean, you had to throw that 0-2 pitch someplace where the guy might chase it, high inside, low outside.
I'm surprised you remember that, Bill. That
I don't forget those things.
Oh,
I may be old, but I remember things.
But when did it change, though? It seemed like in the 70s, let's say the Reds, Johnny Bench was calling a pitch out.
Yeah.
If you had somebody speedy over there, he was calling a pitch out. Sometimes he'd call it 0-1. He'd see something, give the signal, pitch out, boom.
Well, okay, you mentioned Johnny Bench, and the number one thing I remember about him, and that was in the World Series when they had first base open, runners on second and third, and they had a 3-2 count on him. And I think it was Gene Tennis was the catcher or something. I mean, he stood up and pointed to first base, and they threw the next pitch straight down the middle. He struck out. He took it because he thought it was going to be an intentional walk, and they threw the ball straight down the middle.
Oh, my gosh.
Just dead center strike zone. He took it, struck out. So
was that Sparky Anderson's doing?
Sparky was, I mean, he was the Reds manager. I mean, back then, oh boy, you're testing me.
That would have been Dick Williams or Alvin, right?
Yeah, Dick Williams. Maybe. I mean, because they were in the World Series 3 years in a row, and I was trying to remember who the managers were.
I think it was 73. They were against the Reds.
Yeah, and the Reds took over after the A's kind of broke up after the 73 series when they
sold everybody off.
Well, Catfish Hunter, they had an insurance policy for him. Yeah, Charlie Finley was too cheap to pay for it. And so for some technical reason, he became a free agent, and that started free agency. And the A's, they lost Joe Rudy, and they lost, Catfish.
Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
And, and the whole thing fell apart. And so, but they had 3 fantastic years.
72, 3, 4, and then the Reds 75 and 6. Yeah.
No, I thought it was 1, 2, 3, or was it 2, 3, 4?
I think
the Dodgers played him in 72.
Okay.
Yeah. They won the World Series in 72, 73, 4.
Okay.
Reds won 75 against the Red Sox and then 76 against Then the Yankees 77, 78.
Okay. So, I remember
with a lot of the A's players on the Yankees team.
Yeah, I remember.
Especially 77. All I can remember is Reggie Jackson and my neck hurting from 3 home runs off of 3 different pitchers.
Well, one of those 3 World Series, he had a pulled hamstring or something and missed the series, but they won it anyway.
Yeah, I think
the
that was
3 in a row.
72.
But I remember Campy Campaneris. He was one of my favorites back then because, the way he played shortstop, the way he could run. But, the thing was he hit a lot of warning track fly balls because he thought he was, Reggie Jackson, and he was going to hit the ball out, and he hit it to the warning track. He didn't take enough right field singles.
That's what we used to call a batting practice All-American, Bill.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He hit it to the warning track,
And the game is just short.
When my son played at Bella Vista, it was WHB, well hit ball. Yeah, right. But it didn't produce anything.
It looks good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he almost got it. Next time, if he swings a little harder, it may go out. Yeah.
How long have you been an A's fan?
Well, since then, I was working at Channel 3, and we were carrying the World Series. And so I had tickets, free tickets to the World Series. And I went to every one of the home games for 3 years in a row. And it was hard not to be an A's fan with that that team in that era. And speaking of that, I don't know how we're doing time-wise, but the A's now are going to be the biggest problem possible for Major League Baseball by playing in Sacramento and having the best team in the West. They're going to be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And
what are you going to do about all this?
They could maybe get 15,000 people in. So where are they going to go? Are they going to play in San Francisco? Yeah, I mean, play.
And that would really stink because the people of Sacramento, since I was a kid, they would support anybody. I mean, we would go to Sacramento Solon games, anything that was around this city support, especially when the Kings came in from Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're right. What if they go to the playoffs and they only have 15,000 seats? What is Major League Baseball going to do?
Oh, they're going to have conniptions. They've got to be sweating it out right now. I mean, most people don't realize that at the end of last season, of the top 20 hitters in the American League, batting average-wise, 5 of them were A's. And they had the Rookie of the Year in Kurtz, and the should have been Rookie of the Year, in Wilson at shortstop. He would have been Rookie of the Year if Kurtz hadn't hit 4 home runs in a game. I mean, Kurtz had one less home run than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Guerrero's getting paid, $30 million a year and an all-star. And Kurtz in 72% of the season. And he had one less home run. He had like 36 and Guerrero hit 37 or something. And so the A's, I'm looking at today's lineup for Sacramento A's. They have if I put it up against the Giants, they only have one position where I'd put the Giant ahead of the A's player, and that's third base. I'd take Chapman because you can't replace that defense. First base, Kurtz, has obviously played first base his whole life. I mean, he's a fantastic defensive player as well as a good hitter. I mean, Wilson at shortstop, it was second leading hitter in the American League batting average wise. And when you get into the outfield, when they've got Clark in center field, he's all league defensive center fielder. And then they brought up Cortez. And what did he do? He hit 2 home runs in a game and he's hitting 325 or something, Wow. And Langoliers, his catcher, is hitting
twice last week.
The average that Bailey is, and he's a good defensive player. So you're going around in the infield. McNeil at second base is hitting 300, and they've got Butler in right field, who's a great center fielder, but he's playing right field, and then Soderstrom in left is a high batting average guy. And so when you go around it, they've got a better team than the Giants do. And the Giants get all the fans over in San Francisco because of the 3 World Series from the earlier 2000s. But no, if I had to take one of the 2 teams and go to war, I would take the A's. Yeah, and their pitching is getting better. And so that's the only problem.
Well, plus the Giants have that wonderful venue. Oracle Park is just super fun to go. So it's not just the team. It's a place where you can go where it's just a lot of fun. And if the Giants win, great. If they don't,
You know what my favorite thing is? Walking back to my car after the game and Tony Bennett singing "I Left My Heart in San Francisco" shows so much class. I mean, really. It makes the whole experience. That puts like the little cherry on top at the end.
Yeah.
And then the splash home runs and, all of that, they've got that going. But when I talk about the number one place I've ever been to watch a baseball game, is Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
If you go there and you go early and you walk through the Monument Park, you have tears in your eyes when you finish reading all the plaques about the former Yankees.
Yeah.
And then they play a video before the game of the history of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and Lou Gehrig saying this was the greatest day of my life. And, you're sitting there in the stands wiping tears off, and they're getting it into the blood of the young Yankee fans. They're getting the history of the Yankees in. They're not playing rock or rap music and all of the charge, and all those things that they do in stadiums nowadays to supposedly get people fired up. They're really giving you the history of the Yankees and making you a fan that knows something about baseball before the game starts. That, to me, is the classiest.
So did you go to the old Yankee Stadium or did you go to the new Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, I've only been there once, and it was the old Yankee Stadium. And
Oh,
we're getting the
so you heard
wrap it
Bob
up.
Shepard's voice then, right?
Yes.
The
when he
voice
would
of God?
Yeah. And he'd say, it's Derek
Nobody.
Jeter, number
two.
number
Derek
2.
Jeter.
Yeah, next. Yeah.
Shortstop.
Right.
All right. So last question, Bill. What's your favorite baseball memory, and what's your favorite baseball or song associated with baseball?
Song
About baseball.
Geez, I mean, I worked in radio and TV. I should know the music, but yeah, my favorite memory is one of the A's victories, and I think it was Dick Green playing second base, and they got a double play to beat the last play of the game against the Reds.
Right.
And then everybody went crazy, Yeah, and ground ball to Dick Green to Campy and on to first base. And we were cheering our heads off after that. But, I don't really like take me out to the ballpark, but that's the only real baseball song I remember. So
that's a good one. Yeah.
I do have a question.
What?
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question because I've been incredibly impressed by your baseball knowledge, Bill. This has been a lot of fun to listen because this is what I love. And I love golf, and I hate comparing eras because I still think Nicklaus is the greatest golfer of all time, both on and off the golf course. I love him. How do you think Mickey Mantle would have fared in today's game? Because I never got to see him play, but I heard so much about his all-around athleticism. How would he do in today's game?
Yeah, he'd be paid $40 million a year. Yeah, and be leading the league in maybe batting average or even home runs or whatever. He was the fastest, about 3.1 seconds running to first base, batting left-handed, and he had a great arm. He had range in center field, and could hit from both sides of the plate. No, yeah, I mean, he had skills that would work in today's baseball. Yeah, no, I mean, he'd make you almost forget some of the guys that are getting paid a bunch of money. Yeah, you'd be paying a lot of money to go out to watch Mickey Mantle play when he came to town. I mean, that would be a must-see baseball game. I mean, speed, power, strong arm. I mean, all of the attributes he had. It was a stupid knee injury he got in 51 when he stepped on a brain in center field and messed up a knee. Yeah.
Yep. And wasn't he drafted as a shortstop, Bill?
He was a shortstop, but he only played like a year in the minors, and they decided he made too many throwing errors to first base, so they moved him to the outfield when he came up. Yeah, and he was the heir apparent to Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually played together in the outfield.
Yeah.
They played together in the outfield that first year.
And I got to see him play once in Kansas City when they had the Kansas City A's, back then. And they had Gene Woodling in left field and Hank Bauer in right field and Mickey in center field for the Yankees back in that era.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good pick. That's my dad's favorite. Mickey Mantle was my dad's favorite too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, had songs about him and, everything.
The 3-1 down to first base seems like one of those records that's fake, but it's actually real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't have video, so they could get it down to the 100th of a second. But all I know is you better not bobble the ball if he hits a ground ball to you. You're not going to get it.
The closest that we've seen to that would be Bo Jackson running down to first base.
Oh, that's another whole podcast. Watching Bo Jackson play baseball, watching he hit a ground ball to shortstop, just a routine ground ball.
Two-hopper to the second baseman, he's out. He's safe.
I mean, 2 hops to the shortstop and he's safe. And then watching his throwing arm, and then the same game where he hits this little ground ball, the shortstop beats it out. He hits one in the upper deck in left field.
Right.
I mean, and so no, I mean, he was an amazing athlete. I mean, you could tell he was kind of rough in baseball because he had, he wasn't a polished baseball player, but he had such physical skills. It was just absolutely amazing. And so, I mean, if he'd had, a career without that hip injury, I mean, he could have been a 10-time All-Star in the majors. No, I loved him. So
this was really fun because I I'm nostalgic by nature, and your information and recollection is impeccable.
Well, Bill and I have been talking baseball for 26 straight years.
Yeah. And
every week.
Well,
Jim.
I mean, my biggest attribute when I played was my knowledge of the game. I mean, really knowing where to play when you're playing infield, where to play the hitters, and on the offensive side, knowing how to read pitchers and hit the ball to the green space out there instead of where they've stacked the defense.
To a glove?
Yeah, right. And then the other thing was I hated striking out. So I'm going to take a hack at the ball. I mean, you can't get a base hit if you don't swing the bat.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah. So no,
it's like the Dominicans. You can't walk off the island. You have to hit.
I told you that story. That was an interview a young lady did with one of the Dominican Republic guys. And she asked him in July, Jose, you've only walked 12 times this year. And he said, lady, you can't walk your way off the island. Swing the bat, hit the ball, get it in play. Put pressure on the defense, whether you're on base.
Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
We could go on for hours. I know, but
I know.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Bill.
Nice meeting you, Jim. Any friend of Eric's that he looked up to is a friend of mine. Okay?
Jim was my idol. He laughs about it. But.
Yeah.
Stop.
I mean, I had Mickey Mantle and he had you. I mean, so okay.
I think there's a little skill. level difference. I didn't even have warning track power.
Okay.
He especially was my idol when we were singing Jim Morrison songs in 2009 in San Francisco.
Well, okay. Bates,
I am
thank
not
you.
Worthy.
You guys have a great day.
Will do.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
One last thing. I mean, I've always hated the Dodgers because when I was graduating from college, I had 3 days with the St. Paul Saints. Danny Ozark was the manager, and Danny told me I belonged in some other line of work. And that was my experience with the Dodgers minor leagues. And so, okay.
Boy. Well, I think he made a mistake, Bill. I think you're better than he was saying.
All right. But I was too old then. You know, I graduated from college, so I was way too old.
But then you met Kathy and your whole life changed.
Yes, right. So there was some good to that, right?
That's the yin and yang right there.
That's right. And then I got into radio and TV and then real estate later on. So, okay, Jim, it's really nice to meet you. And so,
this was great. Thank you.
Okay. Are we done now? Are we done yet?
We have the gremlin's going to tell us that we're done here in a second.
Well, I was looking up in the corner and he says I'm done.